We're back here on the platform this evening, speaking with Professor Ebeling on our show today, and we are talking economics. Many companies in the United States and around the world, especially power companies, companies associated with production of energy and the distribution of energy, they make it very difficult for small business people because of the cost of energy. We were talking about the profits of the oil companies in the United States. And the recession, this recession, which is still going on, by the way, in some parts of the world. I don't know if it's still going on in the United States.
Well, we have almost 9% unemployment.
Yes, but does that mean you're not having growth? You
had
some growth.
Some sectors have been recovering.
So you are recovering in
Yes.
the United States. Well, your recovery is going to be a very long one.
Right.
If you're not able to control the cost of energy, isn't that right?
Well, I don't think it's just the energy that's the problem. The major problem that's preventing a recovery in the United States is the fact that even companies that have accumulated cash reserves that they could reinvest, start production in some areas, expand production, are very uncertain. The fact is that the government in the United States, more than any other factor, has created uncertainty about the future. Last year, the Congress, when the Democrats controlled the Congress, passed Obama's national health care plan. There's debates about whether it will be implemented, what the full cost will be for small, medium, and large-sized businesses. There's uncertainty as to whether personal and corporate taxes will go up next year. There's the uncertainty of how the government will regulate the economy, who will win the presidential election next year. All of this uncertainty about regulation, about the taxing structure, about what new social welfare programs such as health care the government will or will not expand in a particular way, has created a huge amount of uncertainty in the private sector. Everyone is cautious and hesitant to plow investable money into the jobs and industries when they don't know if they put the money in, taxes and regulation will end up making it all a wasteful and unprofitable investment. It's the uncertainty from Washington, D.C. that is a major ingredient, in my opinion, in preventing a normal and healthy recovery in the U.S. Yeah, when you don't know what the government's going to do, it's kind of hard to make your private decisions.
But your politicians in America just seem not to be able to get along and to focus. You know, the other day we were appalled in this part of the world when politicians questioned the birthplace of your president. Here it is, your president is in office for 2 years plus, and you're still questioning whether or not he's an American. That is ridiculous, isn't it?
I was not interested in, and I considered a waste of time, the issue of President Obama's citizenship. That was emphasized by a possible Republican candidate who's well known as a very wealthy businessman who tried to make it a hobby horse by which he would get personal publicity for a possible run for the presidency.
Yeah, but the Republican congressmen, the senators and congressmen, they were not saying to Mr. Trump, well, listen, you know, this is not so. They were giving him aid and comfort, some of them.
Some of them weren't. Others said, let's just put it to rest and move on with serious issues.
I mean, the sad part about that was that one of the reasons President Obama produced the documentation was because he was concerned in the polls where 25% of the Americans began to believe that stuff.
Well, like I said, I thought it was a red herring, it was a waste of time. But let's remember that the U.S. Constitution does specify that besides being of a certain minimum age, someone has to be a naturally born citizen of the U.S. In fact, a Republican who possibly might run and who was a former Massachusetts governor, Mitt Romney, his father was George Romney, a senator from Michigan.
Governor of Michigan.
And George Romney had at one time been thinking running for the presidency, but it had turned out that technically he was born in Mexico, though of American parents. They just happened to be down there and he was born in Mexico, and then like 2 days after he was born, they just returned from a trip or something. But technically that killed his chances to run for the presidency. So I think that it was used for political manipulative purposes. I'm not disagreeing with you. But on a technical constitutional matter, it is supposed to, be straightened out and be forward about.
You know, McCain wasn't born in America. McCain,
Born in Panama,
his parents were military people, and he was born outside of America.
But you see, when he was born, the Panama Canal Zone was part of the territory of the United States. For example, if someone was born on the island of Guam in the Pacific,
That's an American
as it's a territory of the U.S., he would count as an American citizen, and so would he if he was born in the Canal Zone.
But the point is that America is sidetracked with a whole lot of domestic stuff, issues that are quite irrelevant to the growth of the world economy and to the proper regulation of the economy.
I don't disagree. Politics in many places, in the United States, highlighted perhaps now, but in many parts of the world, get sidetracked because politicians are looking for little avenues and doors to take advantage of possible opponents in their own party and certainly in the opposition parties. In the United States, already people are vying for the presidential election of 2012 with the uncertainty as to what Republican will run, what the position of Obama will be at the time, and everyone's jockeying for position. And the Republicans, as are the Democrats, are all looking to the next congressional elections. The House of Representatives, which shifted to the Republicans in this last election, every member of the House, all 535 are up for re-election, and 1/3 of the Senate is up for re-election. Will the Senate remain Democratic? Will that shift to the Republicans? Will the Republicans gain more seats or lose control of the House? So everybody's playing politics. Unfortunately, that happens in other parts of the world too. I don't think it's exclusively the U.S.
Mr. Ebeling, the other day on CNN, Fareed Zakaria interviewed a lady by the name of Noy. She's a CEO of Pepsi.
Oh, I saw part of that interview.
She runs a $63 billion business. And as a business person, she believes that America needs a national plan. We in the Bahamas believe that the Bahamas needs a national plan. What is your view on national plans?
I think that there is no need for a national plan, because then the issue is, shall the government plan for everyone, or shall each individual in his own life find ways to plan his own affairs and freely interact with each other, coordinating their plans with others in society and the marketplace? I trust the wisdom and knowledge and information that reside in all the minds of all the people in the world, far more than the amount of limited knowledge that are in the hands of the politicians in Washington of either political party.
But a national plan is for the government.
It's a blueprint.
It's a blueprint for the country, not for you personally.
I have to conform to it.
You can have you can have your own national plan, your own plan on your private affairs. But shouldn't governments have a plan on healthcare, on education, on the infrastructural development of the country and things such?
Absolutely not. I think that health care and other social services such as that should be left up to the marketplace. Does the Bahamas have does the Bahama government have a national shoe policy?
That is going from the ridiculous to the sublime.
And I'm not. How do we know that if government didn't plan the provision of shoes, everybody in the Bahamas would run around barefoot? How can we trust parents to put shoes on their... No, it is the same. The same logic is saying that I don't believe, that is a politician saying, I don't believe people will plan for their health care. They're not wise enough to plan for their retirement. They don't know how to pick and choose, and the government must therefore plan for them.
No, your educational system, for instance, in the United States is considered to be really going down. Mr. Obama said the other day that you have to bring your game up in terms of how you are educating your people.
How you competing
with the rest of the world.